So what's going on in DC? I've been hearing there's a lot of UAP, UFO, strange activity happening in DC lately. What's happening? Y'all put us up on game. Let us know what's going on, please. All right, but listen, we're gonna get into all the craziness today. You know how this goes, man. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, what are we looking at? Triangle? What is that? That's one of the orbs on top. Oh my God, I'm so cold. It's so windy. I'm gonna get blown over there. Holy shit. What is this triangle formation? Just chilling. You can see it's still in a triangle and it's not moving. I mean, obviously the two are moving. Keeping that triangle, just rotating it. It's two rotating around the orb, keeping a triangle formation. What the are we seeing, friends? One is breaking off. Oh my God, that is an orb. That is going on over there. I was just standing up on that thing, looking out. What is that? Oh my God.
Yeah, bro, don't feel like you're going crazy, because you're not going crazy. We all seeing that. That could be 3 ships. I couldn't figure out my finger which one. That could be 3 ships. That could be 1 big ship. That could be, I don't know what it could be, bro, but it's crazy that we're still continuing to see these things, right? And of course, yes, some of those may be drones of our military. Yes, we have to keep that in mind. But some of this stuff just still moves really, really suspect to me.
Second death from measles to tell you about. It's been reported. This one is in New Mexico. It comes 1 week after an unvaccinated 6-year-old child in West Texas died from measles. New Mexico's health department said the victim, an unvaccinated adult this time, tested positive for the measles virus after death and had not sought medical care. New Mexico's measles outbreak has tripled to 30 measles cases this week, while the health department in Texas reported 198 cases of measles as of today. That's a 40-case jump since Tuesday. Second death from measles.
So let me ask you, parents, what are y'all doing right now? What is the course of action? You keeping them home? You know, you homeschooling? What are y'all doing? Because these are smaller kids. These are young kids. Like, you know, may not have the strongest immune system at this point of their life. So what are y'all doing right now? Because this is scary.
The cause of death for Miss Betsy Hackman, aged 65 years, is Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. The manner of death is natural. Autopsy examination and full-body postmortem CT demonstrated no findings of trauma internally or externally, with microscopic findings consistent with Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Laboratory testing was positive for Hantavirus at a clinical lab, with required confirmation testing positive at Scientific Laboratories Division. Testing for COVID-19, influenza, and other common respiratory viruses was negative. Testing for carbon monoxide was negative. There were no other significant natural disease findings. Pills present on scene were thyroid medication, which were being taken as prescribed and is not currently a concern for a contributory cause of death. The cause of death for Mr. Gene Hackman, aged 95 years, is hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, with Alzheimer's disease as a significant contributory factor. Autopsy examination and a full-body postmortem CT examination demonstrated no acute findings of internal or external trauma and showed severe heart disease, including multiple surgical procedures involving the heart, evidence of prior heart attacks, and severe changes of the kidneys due to chronic high blood pressure. Examination of the brain showed advanced Alzheimer's disease, as well as blood vessel changes in the brain secondary to chronic high blood pressure. Laboratory testing performed at Scientific Laboratories Division was negative for COVID-19, influenza, and other common respiratory viruses. Testing for Hantavirus was negative. Testing for carbon monoxide was negative. Additionally, there were no autopsy findings concerning for Hantavirus infection. The cause of death.
All right, now, so I know y'all seen me look it up because I know y'all was like, what is Hantavirus? Some of y'all, if y'all know what it is, then hey, you're smarter than me in that department. But it says here that Hantavirus is a virus that includes all of the hantavirus that causes disease in human. Hantavirus. It ain't really giving no explanation. HRFS, hantavirus, severe symptoms that it affects the kidneys, usually developing within 1 to 2 weeks of exposure. Like, it's like, it just says rare heart disease. Like, something else for us to have to worry about at this point. Like who's coming up with this stuff in a laboratory or something?
With a hood over his head and a target over his heart, a firing squad executed Brad Sigmund. He was pronounced dead at 6:08, 4 years after the South Carolina state legislature approved the option for death row inmates. In this room, behind a century-old electric chair, 67-year-old Brad Sigmund was strapped down here. Hidden behind a wall 15 feet away, 3 corrections employees fired live rounds at him through a small rectangular hole, a method he chose instead of lethal injection or the electric chair. New bulletproof glass was installed to shield witnesses.
Do you expect more states to follow suit?
No.
Why not?
This was a political game that the Republicans in our legislature fell for when they voted for that. Nobody really wanted this.
Why not?
It wasn't necessary because we had 2 methods of execution. We had the electric chair and lethal injection.
John Osmond is the former director of the South Carolina Department of Corrections, where he oversaw 14 executions. While lethal injection remains the primary method in most states, drug shortages and botched executions have led to a revival of older methods. Sigmund's attorney, Bo King. Why would your client choose to die this way?
Brad had repeatedly asked for the most basic facts about South Carolina's lethal injection drugs. He's like, is it expired? Have the drugs been diluted? Have the drugs spoiled? And he was repeatedly refused that information.
So he chose a firing squad.
He chose the firing squad.
Sigmund was sentenced to death for killing his ex-girlfriend's parents, David and Gladys Lark, in 2001, beating them with a baseball bat, a crime he admitted to.
How would you describe this form of execution?
Death may be difficult for anybody, but as far as ending a human life quickly, I think this is probably about as good as you can get.
23 states currently have the death penalty. 5 allow the use of a firing squad.
This was an impossible choice, but between the prospect of dying strapped to a gurney over 20 minutes, drowning in the blood and fluid in your own lungs, as opposed to the firing squad, he made the only choice that he could.
Meg, how are people in South Carolina, state officials, responding to those who are calling this whole thing barbaric?
Maurice, the state of South Carolina maintains that this is not cruel and unusual punishment because they let the inmate choose the way they are put to death, whether it is lethal injection, the electric chair, or now a firing squad. If they don't make a choice, the electric chair is their default.
Meg, what do we know about the people who pulled the trigger, the executioners?
We know that they are part of the corrections staff. We know they volunteered for the assignment, but because South Carolina passed a SHIELD law in 2023, it protects the identities of everybody involved in an execution, so we don't know who they are.
Meg, just a couple of seconds here. Did we get a sense of his last words before he was put to death?
Yes, his last words, Maurice, he wanted to say, I want my closing statement to be one of love and a calling to my fellow Christians to end the death penalty.
Meg Oliver in Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you, Meg.
With a
That's probably why he knew this would spark some type of controversy. He knew that. That's probably why he went out, or one of the reasons he went out. You know what I mean? The other one was he didn't want to be suffering for 20 minutes or whatever. He wanted to be over with quickly. Man, this I struggle with this right here. Cause you catch me on a good day, I might be for it. You catch me on a different day, I might be against it, man. When it comes to this death penalty, it's just like, cause sometimes I wake up and I be like who gives us the right? You know what I mean? Who gives us the right to say you have to go? You have to go. Like, who gives us that right? Even though he did what he did, which was heinous, which was a heinous crime, the anger makes us want to say yes. But when you step back and really think of it, who just knighted us with that power to be able to call that shot? Number two, like, my next thing is like, who signs up to do this? 3 officers did. Now, you know their identities is not gonna remain, like, come on. They know their names are gonna get out. Probably already out by now. But they're not, their identity is not gonna remain hidden. But who volunteered? I'll do it. I'll do it. Like, what? To do that? So that's not gonna bother you at night? Like, that, seeing that vision in your mind, that's gonna be embedded in your brain for a while. I don't see how you could step up and volunteer to do that, bro. I want to know who they are now, so I know to never be around them. You gotta be a special or either crazy individual, and we need to keep our distance from you.
There's an UFO sighting in Miami. I tried to tell y'all about the moon. Look at it. That's not a rock. And it's down in Miami where I'm from. Look, SpaceX exploding. If you think that's the space station, then the moon's not a rock. It's technology, like I've been saying. Look at it. Our ancestor technology has been hijacked. You gotta pay attention, y'all.
What the hell is that?
I tried to tell y'all about it. Y'all cursed me out in the chat. Or an angel. Or an angel. Our ancestor technology. Don't be confused. It's been hijacked. That's why it's been cold in Miami. That's why the weather's been going crazy. And look at the angels around it. Look at the stars. Look at it around it. You see them shining? Look at it. Pay attention to this one. What? Ancestor work. Ancestor work. We are back. We are here. This is the year. Y'all gotta pay attention to the sky. And this is in Miami. Davie, Florida, 30 minutes from me. 30 minutes from me. They all saw the same thing. It's the moon.
Well, this guy is trying to pass.
Them UFOs, baby. Pay attention. Did y'all see the little stars around it? Look how it's moving. Look at you saw the little star? I'm telling you, look. We back. We out here. That's the Merkaba. The Merkaba is surrounding the moon, trying to get the moon back. Another spot. They all see the same thing. Pay attention. The moon is not a rock. This is our technology being hijacked. This is crazy. I'm trying to tell y'all, the UFOs, our people, are here, and they are here to stay. Things are gonna change. There's an UFO.
Yeah, I saw some video recently where they was like naming off how many species of aliens are potentially living here right now. They didn't go in depth to name the different species, but they were just talking about the different species of alien, man, that are already amongst us. Already. Why is there a giant Kim Kardashian balloon in the middle of New York? Which I was just there a week or so ago. Just there in Times Square. Or wherever that's at. It looks like Times Square. But why is that there? Why? That's so disturbing. Why is that there? And yeah, they gonna keep going like it ain't even there. Walk right past it, take a few pictures by it, and keep it moving. I'd be so tempted to just go up and just pop it, and deflate it. I can see the jokes coming now.
There is a note which is titled Last Letter, and it's written to different family members as individual paragraphs addressed to each individual family member. The opening part of the note reads as such: please don't think of this as me throwing my life away. I have lived and I am grateful for everything and everyone that has been a part of it. It is now my time to leave and be at peace, as this is what I ultimately want. I know you will all have so many questions and wish you could have done something different to prevent this. However, none of you have failed, and there is simply nothing any of you could have done. This is my decision to just be at peace. You all have to take care of each other and speak to each other, as that will be the best thing for you all. I love you all so much. You okay, Carl? Carry on. When you wrote that note, had you already planned the murders of Louise, Carol and Hannah? So I'm interested in the words prevent this. So tell me what you mean by prevent this. Do you mean the murders of Carol, Hannah and Louise? There is a note which is titled...
I mean, even though he said no comment, we know that's what he meant. What else would he have meant right then and there? There's no way you could have prevented this. What else could he have meant? No, yeah. Super premeditated, super.
I just told y'all about this. Go back and watch my video that I posted. I said, you know that there's going to be either an economic collapse, financial collapse, or financial reset when the government sends out a huge check. So it's just been reported that the Doge findings, the fraud, the abuse, has doubled to $105 billion. It's doubled. Okay, so I want you to understand. I just made a video about this. Remember, quantitative easing. We're pumping out money. We're printing money. And the way that you know that there's going to be either a financial collapse or reset is when the government sends out a huge check. So what this means is that the $5,000, remember the Doge dividend is a percentage of the money that was found. They announced the $5,000 when the findings were just at 50,000. Now the findings are at 105 billion. Did I say 50,000? 50 billion. 105 billion. So what does that potentially mean? It means that the Doge check could possibly double from 5,000 to 10,000. But they're not finished yet, y'all. Okay? So 10,000 is a lot, but it's not a lot. Okay? Let me tell you. It's a lot, but it's not a lot. I really honestly think this is going to be bigger because back in 08 and 09 during the housing crisis, Obama was giving out $8,000. I think it was $7,500 or $8,000 during a housing crisis. Remember, they push out money right before a crisis or right after a crisis. This, I'm hoping, is not a financial collapse. I'm hoping that it's a financial reset. If it's a financial reset, y'all, this is just going to be a transfer of wealth. Right? That's all it's going to be. It's just going to be a transfer of wealth. And so the people that are on board that knows what's going on and know how to maneuver and know how to position themselves over the next 4 to 8 to even 12 years, this is going to be a very, very good time for you. This is why Trump is calling it the golden age, okay? You got to understand, it is very strategic. So this is why I keep telling y'all, you better be praying, you better listen to God, you better be doing what's right and align yourself with righteous people and people of good character, because this is the age for it. It's the time for it. Because see, everything is going to be based on productivity. And so people who have been lying and scheming their way to the top, people that really don't have the knowledge and skill sets to do the job, people that have been, that's lazy and just kind of manipulating their circles and the people that they know, that's not going to work for them because there's a demand on productivity. A financial reset is not the same thing as a financial collapse. We don't want a financial collapse. We do want a reset, okay? We have to have a reset. Remember, I was talking about quantitative easing. Now it's time to pull that Band-Aid back and fix what is wrong. So that's why they're doing this government overhaul. I know it's not pretty. I know it's ugly. I tried to warn y'all all last year to prepare. We went on multiple fasts. Go back through my videos. You'll see where I'm telling you that we had to prepare for what it is to come. And there was also an announcement that there were going to be 42,000 VA jobs lost. Okay, 42,000. Y'all, don't find it strange, because if the government was pumping and pumping all of this money into the economy, that means some of these jobs that were created, there was no need for them in the first place. I know we want to feel bad for people. I know we want to pity people, but the Bible says pity no man. Pity no man. This is the time to come up. So those people that have the knowledge, the skill sets, the information, the know-how, they're going to survive this storm. Okay.
That's an interesting way and perspective of looking at things. I absolutely agree with the fact that this is going to be a transfer of wealth. That's one way to put it. This is going to be a way for you to get wealthy, for you to come up, I think. You know what I mean? I'm always telling y'all, look at the stock market. Learn the stock market. You have YouTube at your fingertips. Use it. Research. Do a lot of research. Stay up at night. If you work a job, come home, get the family together, put everybody to bed, and stay up. Sacrifice some sleep. You know what I mean? Not to the fact that it will put you in jeopardy of driving or something like that if you drive. No, get adequate sleep. But if you work from home, or if you work close to home to where your commute is short, you get to work, you be a little tired, but it's okay. Stay up and study some of this stuff, man, because I think the blood that you see in the streets in the stock market, it's not gonna always be that way, I think. And that's just my thought. You know what I mean? I don't think it's gonna be that way. And I think your big companies that have survived a lot before, think about your companies that didn't budge during COVID. Think about your companies, your Apples, your Googles, your stable companies, probably your Mag 7. Look at those companies, right? And find you a way to invest in them. Because they're going to come out of this. Technology ain't going nowhere, right? All that chat GPT and all this AI, this stuff isn't going on anywhere. It's going to continue to ramp up. It is. So if you think about that, your technology, those sectors and different, man, this should be the time. I'm drilling that into people, man. This is the time. This is the time to try to come up. Now, if you try and you're unsuccessful, cool, at least you tried. But don't be ones out here that don't try.
Okay, they're going to survive this storm. But the people who have been getting over, lying and scheming, they're not going to make it. I'm telling you, it's not going to work for them. This is why we needed DEI to be dismantled. Okay, we need everything to be based on character, integrity, knowledge, and skill sets. They have no choice. DEI was in there to support the quantitative easing, to create jobs. Now the jobs have to be really, really honestly created by resources, right? So this is a sign that we're heading to something. We're heading into some type of direction. I don't know how big this check is going to be, but I do know that it's going to be big. I already said that before this news had even broke today. I said it's going to be a big check, and you should know that either it's going to be a financial reset or it's going to be a financial crisis. And let me tell you something. What a financial collapse looked like is the Great Depression. That's what a financial collapse looked like. And understand that people were still able to win, to become wealthy, to become millionaires, even during the Great Depression.
Think about it. What do you... If you do, let's just say the check is 10K. What is your thought process? Put it in the comment section. What would you do? And let's see. That's a great place to put it, because then people can comment under that. Hey, bro, you thinking about doing this with the 10K? Do this with the 10K. You know what I mean? Do this. Look at this play. Look at this play. Learn about options. You know what I mean? Because you're not probably going to come up that high off of and buying shares, you know? But unless you're going to hold them for a long time, then you holding them for a long time, then yeah. And you keep adding to it and buying more. Yeah. But if you're looking for come up with this 10K, learn about options, then learn about the Greeks in options, and then learn about, you know, what companies are gonna do good in this environment, you know, and then take that 10K. And this is not, let me say this is not financial advice. Okay, got that out of the way. But take that 10K, and then I would take let's say what I would do. I would take that 10K and possibly invest it in something, buy a few options, you know, a few leaps, maybe a 1-year leap, something like that. And on a big company with this pullback. I think Apple has done pulled back, I think like 9%. Tesla's down, you know, but that one has a lot of controversy around it, so you better know what you're doing. Nvidia's down. All of your big ones are down now, and we're in March, where you normally see seasonality start to change. So you know your February and your Marches are your down months. Your Aprils are normally good months, where we'll see the market turn around, right? April, May might not be a good month. Then you got your June, July, possibly good. August will start to try to come back down. September down, start to rise again. October, November. And then you get your Christmas rally. So, and rinse and repeat. But learn this stuff, man. I think this is going to be one of the biggest opportunities, I believe, we've seen in a minute.
It's all about whose side you're on. It's all about how you position yourself and align yourself strategically with people around you and within God and His Word. Hide yourself in Psalms 91, y'all. It's a storm out here, and it could be scary or it could be comforting. And if you're on that boat with Jesus, you can go to sleep. You can rest in Jesus. But if you're not in Jesus, you're going to be scared, you're going to be terrified, and you're going to be fearful. So I pray, y'all, I'm telling you, if I hear something, I'm going to come and I'm going to say something, because my job is to warn you there's a storm out here, y'all. If I got to be like Noah, I'm going to be like Noah. This storm may happen next month, 6 months, midterms, next year. I don't know, but my job is to warn you to prepare. How do I prepare? Get out of there. Save, right? Build up your character, skill sets. Learn how to live within your means. Buy what's necessary. Buy what you need, right? Trust God. Don't put your trust in this economy. Don't put your trust in the government. Build systems and processes around the government. I'm telling y'all, okay? So the check is going to be big. It's going to help. But let me tell you something. It does signal that something greater is on the horizon.
Beneath the murky waters of the legendary Scottish Loch lurks a mystery, and this week, perhaps, a new clue.
We think it's the first potential sighting of 2025. It's absolutely fantastic. It really looks like something is like bulging out from underneath the water.
A new picture has surfaced.
All these years later, and we still trying to find Nessie, Loch Ness monster. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm here for it.
Showing what appeared to be a large dark mass beneath the calm, still waters of the loch, according to the official Loch Ness Centre.
I just think it shows us that there's possibilities, that the search is not over, that there's still that we're still carrying out research and surface watch on the waters.
In fact, the centre is now looking for a new full-time monster hunter, an adventurous skipper, the ad says, for the deep scan vessel to keep the search alive. The job joins a long line of Nessie hunters over the last century. Since the early 90s...
Nah, I don't want that job. Y'all crazy you take that job. No. I just can imagine the Jaws movie and the men out there on that boat trying to find and kill Jaws. Nah, it didn't end well for everyone on that boat, you know? No. That the type of hazard pay you would need for that job would be off the charts.
1930s, there have been more than 1,000 recorded sightings of some kind of creature dwelling in Loch Ness.
So this black hump come out of the water. It was like a torpedo going through the water.
Nowadays, there's a live stream of the loch, but researchers have deployed all tools imaginable. Submarines, sonar, and last summer flew drones overhead. For decades, the leading theory was that Nessie was a plesiosaur, a dinosaur who had somehow survived. But scientists have tested the water for DNA.
Let's get down to it. Is there a plesiosaur in Loch Ness? No.
But they did find evidence of eel DNA.
It's plausible that there might be one or two that grow to extreme size.
Plausible, sure, but no photograph has ever proven that.
Definite fake.
Most snaps of Nessie, and there have been a lot, have been debunked. But the myth survives.
Well, he towed a nice bit of fiberglass behind his boat, but this is the famous one. What people think now is that it's actually this little thing. It's a submarine with a plasticine monster's head on top of it.
Experts and researchers will now analyze this week's newest sighting, looking for any evidence that Nessie lives on.
Molly, so many questions, but that job that you mentioned, the center's looking for a head Nessie hunter. What would that entail?
You're gonna apply?
No, not at all.
It's a good gig. I'm looking at the ad right now, Craig, and I quote, "A successful candidate will spend their days searching for the legendary Nessie. You have to be an experienced skipper and key, a passionate storyteller. It pays about $230 a day, and you get to spend the day on the water. Not a bad gig."
Yeah, not a bad gig at all, if you believe it. Okay, Molly.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
I spent so much time in 4th grade thinking about this. I feel like I did a report on the Loch Ness Monster.
You've taught me more this morning about the Loch Ness Monster than I've ever.
Maybe it's like a generations thing. Do you remember being obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster?
Absolutely.
In like 4th, 5th grade?
Yes,
yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I know. What about you, Al?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you believe?
There could be something there.
Yeah.
You know, almost like the legendary Polly the Pizza Rat. People have seen it, maybe, perhaps not. It's a legend.
Who's that?
Is that a New York legend?
Yes, it's a New York legend.
Are you telling the truth?
Along with Alex the sewer alligator. There's so many legendary.
Yeah, man. Hey, keep the hope with Nessie alive, man. Don't be like that, y'all. I love to hear the stories, man. I be feeling like a kid again, man. Nah, let the stories keep growing.